मैच स्टार्ट दो 11:15 नहीं मैं 11:15 पे Let's begin with the conceptual framework of presentation skills. So what is exactly the presentation skill is? Presentation skills are the abilities, are the qualities which are necessary for all those presenters who are willing to create and delivery the appealing presentation that actually you can say communicate the information and the ideas effectively. That is exactly called the presentation skills. The abilities and the qualities of a presenters are actually required when they are want to give an appealing presentation which actually communicate the exact idea and information that they are willing to present in that particular presentation. This particular, you can say, the skills is actually ensures about the presenter what they actually want to say, how they structure the presentation, and what materials they actually included to support of what exactly they want to say during the particular presentation. For example, it could use the slides, videos, or images. Let's take an example. If I want to present any speech at the wedding or any conference or any another event, that means I have to make up the presentation by including the images, including the videos, including the slides, and accordingly I will give or make it prepare in speech in that particular wedding event. You can take up another example, making a toast at a dinner or an event, explaining the projects to a team, or you can say a deliver the results and the findings to the management teams. Another example would be a teaching to all of the learners and applying the specific methods or information to them. But it could be through the appealing or an effective presentation where a teacher would like to say how they structure it and how what material is to be used to present into his or her presentation when it comes to teaching people or students. So this is all about it, an overview of the presentation skills. Now, why are presentation skills important? So these are the various reasons that why the presentation skills are actually important for every presenter, or you can say for the learners as well. So the first reason is to enrich written and verbal communication skills. So when we talk about the enrich written and verbal communication skills, it automatically that this is a requirements that actually based on the presentation skills that a particular presenter must have the written and verbal communication skill. And while having the presentation skills are important, the speaker should have such skills when they have to write something during the presentation or the verbal during any would like or to convey or give a message through the verbal to the learners. The next one is confidence, self-image is very much important during the presentation skills. So when we talk about confidence and self-image, it is also required to present your presentation in front of the public, and your self-image is equally important along with the confidence. The next one is the critical thinking and problem solving capabilities. So when we talk about the presentation skills, it always boosts your critical thinking, that how you review any article or any research paper critically, and what would be the problem is to be solved according to your capabilities when you present what is exact information and idea that you are willing to show up in that particular presentation. Next one is better motivational techniques, that Of course, when you present any information or any idea during the presentation, always come up to a live examples, a real based examples, or real based experiences, so that such messages or such experience should encourage to the others. The next one is increased leadership skill. The presentation skills is always increase the leadership skills. It could increase that how you coordinate, how you maintain the relationship, how you maintain the relationship between the particular presenters and of course the audience in it. So this is also the very much important when it comes to the present your presentation in front of the audience. The next one is how you expand your time management and negotiation creativity. It is always important for any presenter that when you have a presentation in front of the audience or public, it is important that how you manage your time within a presentation of presenting your presentation within a 2 or 3 minutes. So if your presentation is having a 2 to 3 minutes, the presenter should finish that presentation and how they negotiate the time according to your presentation skills, and of course how you create your presentation to be more appealing to the audience in terms of putting up the videos, images, etc. The next one is effective presentation skills. So when we talk about the effective presentation skills, it is always show up that these skills are actually important to have your presentation to be effective in front of the public or audience. So the first one is verbal communication. When we talk about verbal communication, it is very much important. It shows that how you use your language, how you deliver the messages, which always plays a very significant role in front of the audience, and how your audience will receive your information. So you should speak very clearly and very confidently how you project your voice in front of the audience to make everyone ensure that your voice should be listened or to be heard to everyone who are actually listening. Instead of you can say speak more, think before you speak. Whenever necessary, you should pause yourself and just you can say resonate with your particular audience or exactly about what you are willing to give a message through your presentation. So that is the main reason that verbal communication it's very necessary to have an effective presentation skills, as it is also the one of the part of your skills for effective presentation. The next one is body language. When we talk about the body language, it combines the various critical methods. When we talk about the postures, we talk about the gesture, we talk about the eye contact, the expression that you use, the positions in front of the audience, whether it would be right or left or it would be the center one. So your body language is one of the elements which transform your presentation, and of course, it shouldn't be look like dull. When you present, it should be very dynamic and interesting presentation, and it could be done through your body language as well, your gestures, your eye contact, your smile, the way you speak in front of the audience with your language. So that is also the most important skill that is required for effective presentation. Now we talk about the voice projection. When we talk about the voice projection, it is also the one of the ability of the presenter to project your voice and how you improve your presentation and how you allow your audience to hear what are you actually saying. It also increases your confidence that how you linger your nerves when you portray your message to be more engaging. So when you project your voice, it is always important to stand comfortably and with your shoulders back. It shows your comfortable level in front of the audience. Take a deep breath and just speak very loudly. Your voice should be very clear and just speak up openly whatever you would like to speak or give a message to the audience. And it totally depends on how you project your voice, and so that every audience would like to hear of what you are actually saying in front of them. The next one is posture. Posture is also the one of the you can say factor or one of the tool which is also important to have an effective presentation. So it totally depends on how you present yourself and plays a role in your body language and how you project your voice. So your voice and your body language is actually portray your posture. So it also sets up the tone, that what tone, it should be the polite tone, it would be the, you can say, a very delightful tone for the actual presentations. So instead of showing up that you are very overtensed, to just to avoid such particular posture. So it should be, you should be very open, you should be very upfront, a very adaptable change, and just talk in a very formal way when there is any formal conferences or workshop or any meetings and come into your account. So posture is also very important to have your presentation skills to be very effective. The next one is storytelling. So, of course, the presentation is also being very effective by applying such strategy when for the public speakers to tell us a real based experiences, a real based stories when it's relate to your topic or relate to your idea or relate to your information, whether it depends to anyone live, and of course it gives power of your subject, and of course it gives a curiosity, it generates a curiosity into the audience minds and what will happen next into a moment. So it's instead of stopping yourself or avoiding to share your stories, it always encouraged to the speakers to share your real life stories, and do not afraid to share your personal stories and to build up a suspense or ending up any dynamic moment in it. So it would be, it always give a very positive takeaway when it comes to share your stories and will directly reach to your point or relate to your particular idea. The next one is active listening. So when we talk about active listening, it is a valuable skill all on its own. So when it's talk about the valuable skills, and of course it is also skills to maintain your personal relationship during a meaningful conversation or during any of the, you can see, the presentation. It always maintain every relationship, whether it's an official, whether it would be the personal, and it actively engage into the audience during the presentation. So once you have a quality of the active listener, so definitely it should portray during your presentation as well. So when you have any presentation, any presentation skill set, so it always maintained the audience attention. You should be very focused. If you are focused, so definitely in your speaking, the audience will also become focused to hear your voice. So always minimize the passive responses and give your messages correctly so that it would encourage a call to action. So that is the main reason that active listening is also the one of the skill to have an effective presentation. The next one is stage presence. When we talk about the stage presence, so during a presentation, projective confidence can help keep your audience engaged. So definitely, your presence is also, you can say, make your presentation more engaged. Your stage presence is always help to connect with your audience and always encourage them to watch you during your presentation. So while to improve your presence is always remember to have a normal, you can say, behavior and have a sense of enthusiasm in your presentation. And of course, the confidential confidence and the information that you portray that you will speak during the presentation, it should be very interesting so that the customer feels your presence in the stage during the presentation. So these are the stage presence, active listening, and storytelling is also the you can say one of the few of the skills which always makes your present more effective. The next one is self awareness. It is very important to monitor your own emotions, reactions, into a various situations. It could be a very emotional situations. It could be that once you get very nervous during the presentation, or while some audience have put up a something a negative questions and you become very angry. So you should be very self-aware, just well prepared in advance that such question will be arise during the presentation. I will give my response very politely and handle whatever the feedback comes in my way, whether positive or negative, to consider into a future or consider into an action. So that is called the self-awareness, which is also the one of the skills. The next one is writing skills. Of course, writing skills or writing is also another form of presentation. And when we talk about your sharp writing skills, that means it always helps you to master your presentation outline. And of course, whatever you would like to give a message during the presentation, it should be there. And of course, it remains clear about your objectives from beginning to end. And it also helpful to have a strong writing abilities for creating a compiling slide and other visual aids. So when we talk about your writing in during the in a particular presentation, you can use slides, PowerPoint, you can use any other visual aids like you can say the videos, you can use the particular you can say the Canva you can use to make your presentation more innovative or more creative. So that is the why that writing skills is also the one of the form of presentation where the presentation could be more effective. The next one is understanding an audience. When you understand your audience needs and interests, so definitely accordingly you can design your presentation just around them. You can deliver your maximum time and value to them, and of course your abilities always be helpful to whatever the message that you portray in your presentation. The audience can easily understand that message and just you can appreciate your understanding in regard to audience. So this is also the self-awareness, writing skill, and understanding an audience. It is also the one of the, you can see, the factors which are always make your presentation more effective, and it shows your presentations through these factors. It shows your presentation skills to the audience very well. How to improve your presentation skills. It is very important when you have any public speaking, when you have a public speaking using your presentations. So automatically, what factors that you need to consider to improve your presentation skills? That is your self-confidence. You need to work on self-confidence. There are various presenters when it comes to the in front, present in front of the public. They're not very self-confident. They are actually having a very negative perspective that I cannot present in front of the audience. They try to avoid to present in front of them, and avoid to compare yourself to others. So that is also the one of the area the presenter has to, you can say, improve your self confidence. So it could be through practice, could be through self talk, it could be through surroundings with the positive people, and avoid and comparing yourself to others. So that is also the way that work on self-confidence. So when you are confident, so there is, you can just naturally speak more clearly with more authority. And of course, talking to people always help to make your confidence increase in terms of presentation, or using up any visual aids to feel more confident. So the presenter who are not confident actually during the presentation, they can use up the visual aids, so that they can help you and the presenter to feel more confident. There are also the other ways to build up your self-confidence. It could be a positive self-talk, deal with the positive people, and avoid comparing yourself to others. The second area to improve is develop strategies to overcoming fear. So, of course, there are many people who are very in fear and not to present in front of the audience, in front of a large population. So, many people are getting very nervous or fearful before giving a presentation. Sometimes a bad memory or of any of the past performances or insufficient confidence can contribute to fear and anxiety. So there are few strategies that you can focus upon and try to or improve your presentation skills, and you can easily overcome your fear while practicing. You can say, trying to present yourself or your message in front of the audience. So the strategies would be a deep breathing. So when we become nervous, when we become feeling anxiety, you just take a deep breath, practice more and more your presentation, be positive, and you can say careful while dealing with your anxiety or fear level. Grounding up, which always helps to form up your any extra energy or active energy to put everything in your stage presence. So these are the strategies that you can go ahead with it and make your presentation more effective. So the most important is how you overcome your fear. You can use on-go strategies like deep breathing, practice your presentation more and more, grounding up, which also helps you to transform that particular fear into any extra energy, so that you should feel yourself, in active stage presence during a presentation. Next one is learn grounding techniques. So when we talk about the grounding techniques, grounding is also a one of the type that it helps to focus away from distressing thoughts. It keep you connected with your present self. So that is called the grounding. So grounding is just to forget or leave your negative thoughts, just focus on the positive thoughts that exist at present time. So to ground yourself, stand up with your feet and shoulders will be straight. Imagine you are a very large and mature tree and extending a deep into earth, and just like a tree, you are become unshakable and just present the way you are, the way you can possible in your best manner. So that is called the learn and grounding techniques. So you need to learn your grounding techniques that just have any use any phrases which give you positive to yourself, and just take a deep breath and just think that you are unshakable and just present the way you are actually. And that is called that how you learn just through this way only, the through a positive phrases you can learn a grounding techniques for a effective presentation. The next one is learn how to use presentation tools. When we talk about that, how to learn the presentation tools, that visual arts or other technical support can transform an otherwise good presentation into a very worthy one. So once you get to know that how to use the presentation tool, it could be Canva, it could be PowerPoint, it could be the PowerPoint, and how to use such particular tools, it makes your good presentation into a more worthy presentation. And these are the tools. Canva provides how to easy design templates you can customize. Pontoon, that is an elimination software that makes a video creation fast and easy. And PowerPoint is always one of the Microsoft iconic program popular for any dynamic marketing or any of the sales presentation. You can show up the videos, you can show up the graphs, with charts, and you can show up the any of the, you can see the designs that you are willing to show up and looks appealing to the audience. So these are the second, fourth point, that how you can improve your presentation skill. Just learn how to use the presentation tools. That is Canva, Photon, and the PowerPoint. Most of the learners who don't know how to use Canva, how to use the tone softwares. So PowerPoint is a Microsoft program. It's very popular to make a presentation, whether for the marketing purpose or whether for the sales presentation. Now we talk about the practice breathing techniques. When we talk about the breathing techniques, of course, it's just overcome your fear, your anxiety, and you can shake off your off presentation. And of course, your nerves will be more relaxed, your muscles will be more relaxed. Such oxygen get into to your brain as well. So just practice your breathing techniques during the presentation. Take a deep breath. Slowly take your nose and exhale your mouth. So that is the exact, you can say, the breathing techniques that you can practice to make your presentation more effective. The next one is gain experience. Gain experience is also the one of the factor that will make your presentation, and how you improve your presentation skill. The more and more you practice, the more and more the better you become. So you can do anything, the things that you're more comfortable, and you think the activities that that feels engaging in that particular segment parameter, then accordingly you can make the presentations, and presentations are no different actually. So just practice on your own presentation, which always give you an offer or you can say, or an opportunity to get the feedback from other people, and your style and content will also improve accordingly. So if you look at the people who are who are very nervous and just break down and cannot present in front of the public since the childhood, so it's better to repeat your practice and do your practice in front of the other people and get the feedback and just improve accordingly. And also the style and content is also needed. If the feedback says something about your style and content as needed, do it, improve it, modify it accordingly, and present an effective in an effective way in front of the audience. Now we can talk about the tips to help that how you make your presentation into a worthful manner. So there are few tips that helps you to ease your presentation. Arrive early. So since you are always the people who are having a lead, who are having a habit to come late during the presentation, or they are facing a presentation related anxiety and fear. So it is very important to avoid, you can say, any travel stress. So just arrive early, just to avoid any heavy traffic, yeah, unforeseen events. While you come early, you can give your you can give yourself a time to meet your on-site experience technicians and test your equipments, connect with the people who don't know you during the presentation, and you will get to know when to arrive early enough for your presentations. So this is also the one of the tips, that arrive early is better to avoid traffic, any other uncertain events. So it's better to know everyone before you present something or anything in front of the audience. The next one is become familiar with the layout of the room. So when we talk about become familiar with the layout of the room, so in the room that where you present yourself and where your stage presence will exist, you become familiar with that layout of the room. So arriving early is also gives you an opportunity to assess the room and how you figure out at where you will stand, whether it would be the right, it would be the center, it would be the left. So experiment is always makes you to determine how widely, how loudly you need to project your voice, test your equipment whether working or not, everything is in the order, or to make sure that everything should be connected and appears properly at the stage wherever the setup has been organized. So this is an excellent opportunity to work out on every last minute concern and move up to familiarize yourself when you have a well improved stage presence in front of audience. So this is also the one of the tip that you can memorize or remember during your presentation. Listen to presenters ahead of you. So when you watch the other presenters, you feel very nervous, or you want to feel that you should be stay in the room and be enlightening. So you just listen. You also listen for any of the relevant information which relate to your presentation, and just to revisit during your presentation, whether such presentation will become more interactive or engaging. So it is very important to listen what the other presenters would like to say for your presentation, and for the in the upcoming presentation or in the presentation, if you have enough time, so you can make changes to make your presentation more interactive, more engaging rather than boring. So this is also one of the tip, that it is important to show up your presentation in front of the other presenters in your room, so that they can give you a light, or you can say give you a light to improve your presentation that should be more interactive and engaging as well. Use note cards. So writing up yourself and any of the writing a script will always improve or provide you you gains even more comfort and improve your skills. So sometimes instead of staying a robotic and disengaged, just talking points or writing down your points on a note cards if you are going any off track during your presentation. And note cards is always help you to keep your presentation organized while surrounding or sounding more authentic to your audience. So sometimes writing yourself a script is more important because you just write down the any key points on the you can say note cards or just reach up your presentation to be well organized while sounding more authentic to your audience. Now we talk about the types of presentations. So there are we can talk about the four or five main types of presentation. The first one is informative presentations. So when we talk about the informative presentation, is very educational, a very concise, a very to a point presentation. So whatever you would like to say on any of the idea of any of the information, you go ahead and you can say become an educational presentation. So that is called an information presentation. If you would like to speak about the human resources benefits in a presentation, so human, the person who deals with human resources will need to explain what should be the benefits the employee received, how the benefits would work, which important dates the employees need to remember, where employees can find more information, and so on. So this is all about informative presentation where a particular presenter would like to inform on something, on some particular benefits or something, some particular remuneration packages or about the company history or company information. That is exactly called an informative presentation. The next one is instructive presentation. A presentation that teaches you something, which is very similar to the informative presentation. But in this type of presentation, it is something beyond sharing facts. It always instruct the audience on a specific topic. If I am working on any of the, you can say, environmental sustainability, if I'm working on an environmental sustainability, then of course, definitely, my presentation will be instructed on how you maintain the environment and turn to green environment, how you plant more and more, you can say trees nearby your areas or nearby, you can say your home. So this is way that how I will instruct it how to make, how to clean your environment, how to cover up your garbage into a two colors, red or green or red or blue, so that the environment will get clean. So in there, the workshops, the training session, the webinars is always needed to teach the audience about a new skill. What would be the procedure that how you keep your environment clean, and it offers some specific information or instructions to the audience, to the public, so that they can follow up and have a better understanding of the topic of such presentation when the form of workshop, training session, or webinars. So that is called the instructive presentations. Now we talk about the persuasive presentations. So when we talk about the persuasive presentations, this is such type of presentation that always help to or always hope to say to tell something and persuade the audience to take certain actions. So it always refers a problem and how the problem is to be solved using a statistical data, using you can say the company reports, using a particular any kind of online sources data which will be used on your topic, or making up any proposal, or making up any business reports. That's called the persuade presentation. Persuade presentations are basically wants to tell you something, wants to convince the audience to take a certain actions on a particular problem. Such presentation is always show up the particular problems and along with explain their solutions to the data. You can see in the previous organizations when a company is facing a losses, the presenters will come up in a presentation and how it can turn up into the profits. What ways, what solution is to be provided to the companies, that how such losses will turn into the profits. And such type of presentations is called persuasive presentations. So when you portray a problem, you know the problem, how to solve such problem, you come up with the solution in the presentation. That's called persuasive presentation. The next one is motivational presentation. So when we talk about the motivational presentations in the business world, it may not be very dramatic and it could be a life-changing scenario, but still, the such presentation is always used to generate an interest and gain an audience approval is must. So when we talk about the company overview presentation, is one of the good example of a motivational presentation. Why? Because for the new employees, you don't know exactly about the company or organization information. So through this presentation, the companies try to motivate their new employees that how it was founded, who is leading for it, what the company does, and more importantly, it tells us the company story, the company, the whole company background, the past and present status, and this way they are more motivated to work for the company, to work for the to generate the profits and just come up into a more creative ideas. And in this way, through this motivational presentation, they can come up with something more and more inventions, and become a valuable asset to the company. So the next presentation is decision making presentations. Decision making presentation, it's mostly found in the business meetings, government meetings, and all hands meeting. Let's take an example. It's a company wants to improve engagement on their social media channels. So there are many ways to get engaged on a social media channel, like hosting giveaways, dedicating more resources to create Facebook posts or Instagram stories. So this is all called talk about the decision making process, where you know how to make a promotion activities, how to set up the pricing. These are the ways that you can use the social media channels, and accordingly the company could achieve their goals by doing such activities, like put up a you can say resources to create a Facebook post or Instagram stories. You just make up the reels of the companies, and accordingly the decisions could be taken off on the through the suggestions and advice of the various you can see the audience through the social media channels, and accordingly the decisions could be taken off in the business meetings or government meetings or all hands meetings. And that is exactly called the decision making presentations. Now we talk about the methods of delivery and the styles of presentation. The presentation could be the manuscript style, that you have a manuscript. This is a clue of your presentation. The speech is written, the speaker is read word to word to the audience. Like a teacher who are teaching, or you can say the business organization management, they have a manuscript, they have a book, and just keep on reading whatever the handwritten manuscript is always available to him or her. And once they read, the work is finished, and that's called the presentation. So that style is called the manuscript presentation. So you want to present something, and the presentation is ready, and you just read the presentation. It's just like manuscript. So it's just called the manuscript style, who read the speech to the audience like that. So the word manuscript is just a clue to its style. The speech is written, everything is written, just the speaker reads word to the audience. Originally, it was done through the handwritten manuscript, but now it's through the digital form as well. So today, the manuscript style is very common, and the traditional way of paper or method is actually gone. So who read the speech to the audience? So there are the newscasters or television personalities who always read the manuscript in front of the you can see the letters which has been given on the cue cards on the wall, and through the camera lenses they can read and speak in front of the you can see audience on a particular channels or the news channels. So a special teleprompter, you can call up as a periscope, is attached into the camera so that the newscaster is looking at the lens while reading. So whatever they would like to speak, the manuscript is screened at the in the camera at the lenses, and automatically the newscasters and television personality who just can listen and read, and accordingly they will speak. So this is called the manuscript style. The next one is memorized style. The memorized style of speaking is when the manuscript is committed to memory, and it was just whatever they have. The manuscript is ready, they just to speak in front of the audience. So this is something a very typical approach where the speech has been given. You have to learn that speech. You are an orienter, and a particular essay has been given to you. You just memorize this essay and just speak up in the front of the audience within a specified time limit. It would be 2 minutes, it would be the 3 minutes. So accordingly, this is actually called the memorized style, where the presenter or the participant, they just memorize the speech. So whatever the time limit has been given, just speak up in that time limit, whatever they have memorized the speech, and accordingly they will speak up in the front of the audience with that particular time limit. Such and of course, if something you can say accuracy lacking, it could be modified. It can also show up the quality of the writing once you start speaking and just finish with the time limit. And the essay was memorized, and delivery was judged by based on the quality, based on the accuracy, based on the precise length of time. And these are the three parameters where such style has been judged by a panel of experts. So this is something which is called a memorized style. And this style is something more casual. It's somewhat very less formal standards. So anyone can memorize during the examination. If the student have a habit to learn everything, they just memorize and just write up in the answer script, and that is also the memorized style. But that is the memorized style in writing. When we talk about speaking, it's you turn into an orator. Orator is like just memorize, speak up in the audience. So that is called the memorized style. The next one is prompto style. Prompto speech is something which is made up on the spot. You have not prepared you can say previously you are unprepared, you are unrehearsed. So during the you can say when you have something to celebration toast, you and the speech has to be given. You are not prepared. You just speak whatever comes in your mind, whether positively or negatively, and just acknowledge whatever your story says, offering thanks, and that comes under impromptu style, where you're not ready, you are unprepared, you have not even rehearsals. So accordingly, you, whatever you would like to speak, come to your mind and just speak it. Or directly speak to the audience. It happens in the award functions. It happens in the you can see wedding functions or any other events which relate to the wedding, where the, nothing has been memorized. It's just you are unprepared, but you have to speak in front of the audience on the spot basis. So immediately it's just like Academy Awards, Oscar Awards, where you don't need to memorize, so you want to speak whatever comes in your mind. And that kind of style of speaking is called the impromptu style of speaking. So there are many occasions when there is little and no opportunity to prepare. There is no time to prepare. There is no opportunities as well. Such speeches are very short and a very little time to give, and even whenever it's given with little and no notice period. So such style is called impromptu style. The last style of speaking is extempore style. It means it is such styles comes between the memorized and impromptu delivery styles. That means the speech is not completely written out, but it was usually delivered using up the key notes for references. Like for example, a teacher taking up a session that nothing has been memorized, nothing has been, it's unprepared, nothing has been done, but that presenter or teacher has prepared a key notes, and he or she will give a lectures with the help of keynote, because that is the reference for a teacher, and that will be used mainly for taking up any session or workshop or even the public speaking courses. You can take up an example when you are given a particular topic to speak up. You are unprepared, you have not rehearsed anything, neither you have memorized anything. So you just prepare a key notes on the paper just for a reference, and based on the key notes, you start speaking very carefully, and you prepare with the help of the keynotes or key points, or just deliver your speech using the notes of keywords or any of the phrases to support your response, to support your speech. So this is something, a style where unique phrases will be used and unique words will be pre-chosen, and the organization is fluid and very well constructed. So whatever the organization where you're working for, and suddenly you have to speak up, or any topic has been given on the particular event, or suddenly your seniors has been given any topic. So in that sense, what you will do, you just you can say prepare a keynote, just practice your own self and take a few minutes before to deliver your final speech. So, and that means the organization is also well structured and fluid, that they are actually understand the particular scenarios during the public speaking, and you just get carefully prepared and rehearsed, and accordingly just give your speech. So there should be no fumbling for words, no rambling, no length of time to be that you need to carefully monitor. This style gives a free you can say opportunity, and gives an offer flexibility to include references, whatever it comes in a way with immediate surroundings or a group of people, and it can be learned through your previous speeches. You can improve your speeches by looking up your previous speeches that you have given in the organizations, and the news of the day would be used. Such basically the keynotes. It's also being used in a news of a day and in so other activities as well. You can look up in the notice board also. You can see you have maintained a keynote and just a small paragraph has been written and you're just speaking the same paragraph in your own words to the particular employees. So that is also called the extemporaneous style of speaking. Now we come up to the steps in preparing a presentation. What would be the steps and to be taken here when you are preparing any presentation or any topic? First is to analyze your audience. It is very important. Our first step is to prepare a presentation to learn more about the audience to whom you are speaking, to whom you will be speaking. It was very good idea that how you obtain the information relate to the background, the values, what are their interests, during the presentation they told what they will understand, how the audience member would expect from your presentation. So these are the parameters that a particular presenter has to analyze. Next one is select a topic. So once you analyze the audience, the next step is to select a topic of any of the interest that comes into the audience and of course to you. And of course it is very easier to prepare a presentation that makes you interesting, and of course the audience will find it very relevant and more enjoyable to any of the research topics that that might you and the audience would take interest. Next one is define the objective of the presentation. So once you select the topic, you need to decide the objective and what would be your objectives of the presentation in a single concise statement. And an objective needs to specify exactly what you want your audience to learn from the presentation. So that is very important. And what would be the objective of the presentation, and looking at the objective and what the audience will learn from your presentation. So taking up a base of the objective, the level of content and the amount of time is equally important for the presentation, and the presenter should also work upon the background knowledge of the audience as well. So before you define your objective, it is very important to analyze the audience knowledge and background, and it could be done by you interacting or in audience, or when you look up the videos of that the audience where the particular topic which has been done earlier during the previous presentations. The next step is prepare the body of the presentation. That stands the content of the presentation now, where you present your ideas, and to present your ideas very engagingly and convincingly, you will need to illustrate any type of ideas, data, facts, personal experience, so that you can support your ideas very well. So there are the various strategies that you can do in the following manner. The first one is the present the data and the facts. You can use the phrases which has been used by the expert team. You can relate your personal experiences with your ideas. You can provide the vivid descriptions with your ideas. So these are the strategies that you can use your presentations, and which also relate to your ideas and support your ideas very well. So these are the strategies that you can use. The next one is the prepare the introduction and conclusion. So once after you have prepared the body and the content of the presentation, the next step is how you need to decide it how you will begin it and the particular speech. So it's very important that your introduction is always capture the attention and the conclusions will be the summarizes your important points. So it is very important that you need to focus how you open up your presentation, which always attract the audience attention and build up their interest during the presentation. Next one is practice delivering the presentation. The more and more you practice, the hesitation, fear, anxiety would definitely will get removed. And when you practice your presentation, reduce the number of times using other words or phrases like well, you know, and it always it to avoid such it always reflects the speaker credibility that how you tone your content in a most appropriate manner and it always reflect the most important points whatever the time allotted. So that's it for today. Till time, thank you for listening this lecture. I'll come up to the more and more important topics with the relevant examples and explanation. And thank you for listening and namaste to all.